So we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Tracy Lichtenberg, and I'm from the Aggie Budget team, as well as from the College of Letters and Science. If you don't have any questions before we get started, we'll go ahead and get started. Good? Okay. So this is the labor module in Aggie Budget. We're going to start just briefly, a little bit of a background, Aggie Budget System overview. We're going to talk about accessing labor plan files. We're going to talk about editing and reviewing labor plan files. This is the personnel sheet, the other comp sheet, the salary savings sheet, and then how that populates the summary sheet. We're going to go over some tips and resources, and then we're going to have Q&A. So our goal for you is to hopefully that when you leave here that you will feel confident and understand how the personnel sheet is organized and populated. You will learn how the other comp sheet is also organized and populated. You're going to learn and apply actions in the various sheets. And then you're also going to understand how the actions that you take on those various sheets impact the summary sheet. And then you're going to also know where to find tools and help documents should you have questions when you're working in Aggie Budget. So the system overview, again, just as a reminder, it is built from the Koale org and account structure, which goes into Plan File Manager. Whomever is your Plan File Manager for your unit will be the person organizing and defining how the labor plan files and the budget plan files are built. And then where we're going to be focusing today is on the labor plan files. And those are being populated with PPS and open provision data. Labor plan files feed into the budget plan files. And all of that will actually populate reports for you. So that's the reward at the end of the budget cycle. So the selection for Aggie Budget, there are 3 different clients that you can work in. There's the web client where the Plan File Manager and web reports live. That's the landing page when you first log into Aggie Budget. There's the Windows client, and that's where all of the plan files are found, and that's where you will enter all of your budget data. And that's where you also can pull desktop reports that help you with your budget planning. And then there's the Excel client. In order to access the Windows client, you need to click on the rocket, and then you need to click on either Windows or Excels to load it up. Every time you do it, there will be a bit of an install kind of configuration that occurs. And it will happen today when you are on these computers too. So to launch Aggie Budget, you will go to the Aggie Budget webpage, aggiebudget.ucdavis.edu. You're going to scroll down the page to the training environment login. You're going to sign in using your Kerberos. And then you're going to click on that rocket. And then you're going to choose the Windows client. And once it's loaded, this is what it'll look like. Announcements, they always have those posted and are repeated. You're going to have something over here on your left-hand side called the Axiom Assistant. It's another way to navigate in Aggie Budget. And then at the very top, we have what's called the ribbon. And you know you're in the training environment because it'll say training environment. If it doesn't say that, that means you've accidentally gone into the production environment. We recommend that you use Internet Explorer for Aggie Budget, at least definitely in these training sessions. If you're back at your desk, then you need to do a plug-in if you want to use some of the other browsers. When you're in the, or Edge, sorry. So once you're at this page, one of the things that you can do, as you can see, this Axiom Assistant, if you want to have a little more what we call real estate in order to be able to see your screens, we recommend that you close that. And you can just do that by clicking on it. And then I just, this is the ribbon section. And I was just going over about how on the left-hand side you have your ability to access the annual budget and annual labor plan files. You have a place where we'll be looking at reports, and we'll be going over these as we go through the module. There's your Save button, which obviously will be very important as you're working in the plan files. And then there's a variety of other buttons as well. The ones that are lit up means that there's actually actions that can be taken. The ones that are grayed out means that they're not activated at this point. There's the ability to put attachments on your files. There is also the ability to print and email and do snapshots. And as you can see as you go along, there's also ability to access help documents. We recommend here, this is kind of highlighted, that when you do leave Aggie Budget and in the desktop client, that you close it here as opposed to just closing the X up here. And the reason why I say that is that it will hang up if you don't close it properly. Different than the web client. Obviously, when you're in the web, you can just use those navigation buttons at the very top of your screen. But in the actual desktop client, you need to use this one to close out. So, just a little reminder of the terms that are used in the labor plan files. You're going to learn more about how calc methods, what we mean by that, and how it is used to add new rows and control the way the row works. You're going to learn how to change view, which is going to collapse columns or expand columns for you for reviewing personnel data. You're going to have a go-to button that you can use, which will allow you to go directly to an individual or to a labor group if you want to review that. Then there's the plan files, which are the budget entry screens into the system. And then there's a refresh button that will you can use for sorting and filtering on a variety of attributes for your employees. So these are all kind of the tools to help you work through the plan files themselves. So how do you open a labor plan file? So you're going to click on annual labor, and you'll see there's a little button there. And then you should see a pop-up screen like this. And Aggie Budget will know what orgs that you're associated with. And so you should have access to the orgs that you are affiliated with. You would type in a 3 dash and then whatever your org is. Now, some of them, not everything has been loaded into the training environment, but I believe there is at least some plan files available for you for each of your orgs. If you found that your org isn't there, you can always use a training plan file. So that would start with a T dash, and then you'll see there's a whole bunch of training plan files that are available. And those have fake data in them, but they're available for you to use for learning how to use the system in this area. So you're going to say open plan files. And then you'll type and then you hit OK. Is everyone able to open one of their own orgs, or are you having to open a training org? What are you opening back there? Did you open O2? Because then I was going to go into O2. All right. Just so we don't go into the same thing, you know. So automatically we'll open up to the summary sheet. That's the starting point for this. I happen to open a training plan file, so to give you a little demonstration of how that looks. Just a reminder, as you're working in the labor plan file, what is it going to calculate for you? When you're going to be working, it's going to calculate your composite benefit expenses, your merit and range increases, your centralized funding for fixed costs, Gale assessments, and then tuition and fee remission. So as we get closer to the actual kickoff of budget planning, these are going to become very important for your input.